Middlesex's excellent form in all three formats continued as hundreds from Paul Stirling and Owen Morgan saw them ease to a 6-wicket win over Kent at Lords. This was a big game for both teams, and after Kent batted after winning the toss, they were soon in trouble. Joe Denley was legged before to Tim Murtagh in the 3rd over, and then Sam Northeast lobbed a return catch to Stephen Finn in the 6th, with the visitors on 12 for 2. It was hardly the start Kent wanted. Like Middlesex, they came into this match with 2 wins and 2 losses from their 4 games thus far, so a victory here was very important to both. Missing Daniel Bell-Drummond and Sam Billings, who were with the England Lions, the Spitfires relied heavily on Sean Dickson and Darren Stevens, the two both hitting sixes as their side reached 73 for 2 after 20 overs. Both had seen off excellent testing spells from Murtagh and Finn and now look to make the most of their efforts, Stevens with another maximum to bring up the 100. Dickson played some quality strokes in his maiden List A 50, coming off 82 balls, and his partnership with Stevens moved into 3 figures, the latter also getting to a half-century of just 55 deliveries. With 20 overs of the innings remaining, this pair had carried the total to 141 for 2, and a challenging final score was on the cards. But the 3rd wicket stand was then ended on 135 when Stevens on 61 slog swept Ollie Rayner to Ryan Higgins. Dickson though kicked on, his 2nd maximum taking him into the 80s. A maiden List A ton was there for the taking for the 24-year-old, but on 99 he chopped a ball from Finn back onto his stumps. Will Gidman on loan from Notts fell for 4, James Fuller with the catch off the bowling of James Franklin. And when Franklin then held on to remove Alex Blake for 23, Kent found themselves on 206 for 6 with 6.5 overs remaining. Middlesex stayed on top as Franklin trapped Matt Coles in front for a single, leaving it to Callum Jackson to do what he could towards the end of the innings, this 6 helping him to 28 out of a final score of 238 for 7. In reply, Middlesex lost Higgins to the first ball he faced, edging Cole's first ball to Stevens. And when Nick Gubbins nicked off to Mitch Claydon, the hosts were in some trouble on 16 for 2 after 5 overs. But the game was turned by a sensational partnership between Stirling and Morgan. It was the former who dominated the early scoring, playing some top shots on his way to a runnable 50, which was made inside the first 15 overs. Morgan too kept the scoreboard ticking over, and in doing so took the target down to 121 off the second 25 overs, the first bringing the home team a score of 118 for 2. Both batsmen were now well into their stride and looking very good. Stirling was in the 70s by the time he cleared the rope off James Treadwell before Morgan completed his 50 off 70 balls. The target was reduced to 97 off the last 20 overs, and the only way back now for Kent was some quick wickets. The pitch had appeared to flatten out a tad, but that's to take nothing away from these two Irishmen who both played superbly, leading the way in red ball cricket and going along very nicely in the T20 Blast. Middlesex are a team currently filled with confidence. Stirling was exceptional, and the 25-year-old was at 3 figures for the 10th time in List A cricket when he took a single off Denley to raise his bat after facing 118 balls, from which he'd struck 12 fours and 1 6. The game was won by this stage, the runs required down to just 34 off the last 10 overs, with both batsmen now seeing the ball as if it was the size of a planet. Neither made any real mistakes as they carried their partnership to a very impressive 214 made in 39 overs. Unless you happen to be wearing the colours of Kent, it was a joy to watch. Morgan closed in on his 15th List A 100 with a 6 off Treadwell. And indeed he was celebrating 3 figures in the same over from the spinner. He needed 116 balls for his ton and had hit that 6 and 13 fours in what was a very well compiled innings. He lost Stirling for 112 in the next over, the 44th, the batsman chipping Denley to northeast, before George Bailey fell in the following over from Coles for a single, but it was too little too late. Only 8 runs were required, and Morgan took his side over the winning line with 31 deliveries of the match to spare, the England one-day skipper ending unbeaten on 103. A 6-wicket win was Middlesex's third from 5 games, and they now sit in 4th place in the group, just 1 point behind the leaders, with a trip to 2nd place Somerset up next on Tuesday. Kent dropped to 6th place, ahead of their next match on the same day, under the lights at Hampshire.